stone tools washed up where no tools should exist, an island cut off by deep ocean, holding evidence that something crossed the water to reach it. Nobody expected to find this here. But the real answer is far stranger than a lost boat. There was no shipwreck. There was no ship at all. And that is exactly the mystery. On the island of Flores, in what is now Indonesia, archaeologists uncovered stone tools far older than modern humans. Sharp-edged, deliberately shaped, unmistakably made by hands that understood how to strike rock into a blade. The tools were dated to over 800,000 years old. That date should not have been possible. Flores sits across a deep water channel known as Wallace's Line, a stretch of ocean so consistently deep that even during ice ages, when sea levels dropped and land bridges appeared almost everywhere else, this gap never closed. Nothing walked to Flores. Anything that arrived by water, and the toolmakers were not modern humans. They were an earlier species, most likely Homo erectus, a hominin without complex language, without metal, without anything resembling a modern boat. So how did they cross? Archaeologist Mike Morwood, who led major excavations across the region, argued that the evidence left only one real explanation. Somehow, Homo erectus reached Flores across open water, probably more than once, probably by accident. Picture it. Not a planned voyage, a storm, a flood, a tsunami tearing loose a tangle of trees and vegetation from a riverbank, carrying whoever clung to it out to sea. Most of those journeys would have ended in death, but some, over hundreds of thousands of years, would have ended on a new shore. This is where the story gets tested, not just theorized. Researcher Robert Bednarik set out to check whether this was even physically possible. He built rafts using only tools and materials that Homo erectus would have had access to: bamboo, vines, no metal fastenings, no modern design. Then he attempted to cross the same channel. The early attempts failed. Rafts broke apart. Currents pulled them off course. But eventually, a version held together long enough to make the crossing, proving the physics were possible, even if the process was clumsy, accidental, and nowhere close to intentional navigation. This changes what the tools on Flores actually mean. They are not proof of ancient sailors. They are proof of ancient survivors, hominins capable of surviving something none of them planned, then adapting well enough afterward to keep making tools on a shore that offered no return trip home. Here is the part that reframes everything. For decades, crossing open ocean was treated as a mark of advanced human intelligence, something only fully modern humans with real boats could achieve. Flores broke that assumption. A species without language as we understand it, without deliberate exploration, still ended up isolated on an island a deep channel should have made impossible to reach. Survival, it turns out, does not require a plan. It only requires enough attempts across enough time until one of them works. Genetic and fossil evidence later suggested that populations on Flores evolved in isolation for hundreds of thousands of years afterward, eventually producing a strikingly small-bodied hominin known from later remains on the same island. Isolation, it seems, does not just test a population's arrival. It reshapes everything that comes after. None of this started with a plan. It started with tools abandoned on a beach and a question nobody expected to ask. How did anything get here at all? Stone tools washed up where no tools should exist, on an island cut off by deep, unforgiving ocean. Nobody planned that crossing. Nobody built a ship for it. But something survived it anyway, and left just enough behind for you to still be asking, hundreds of thousands of years later, how? If your brain just found this itch a little less annoying, subscribe. There's a lot more hiding in plain sight.